Hello everyone, I'm Neha, your happiness coach. If your house feels like a battlefield, tantrums, tears, yelling, then this video is going to change everything for you. What if I told you that naughtiness isn't defiance? It's just communication that you haven't decoded yet. Research shows that 68% of the parents who follow gentle discipline have kids which are more emotionally connected to them, and those that have 35% lower aggression and almost 40% lower anxiety levels in their kids. So, today you're going to learn the psychology behind it, science backed steps to stop the chaos, and how calm actually builds character and not chaos. Why do you think kids act naughty? They are not throwing tantrums. We just need to understand they're just too emotionally overwhelmed and they don't know how to handle those emotions. So, we need to just understand this simple equation, my dear parents. Tantrums is equal to communication breakdown, not manipulation. Emotional regulation doesn't mature until they reach adulthood. So they do not know how to choose calm over their chaos, like we adults can actually make a difference and do that. Let me tell you a psych fact. Kids just mirror what the adult's emotional state is. So if the adults are calm, they choose to be calm. I'm sure all of you at home can have live examples with which you can yourself refer at. If you are shouting at your child every single day, right from morning when he wakes up to go to school till he is back from school until he goes to bed, this is the exact way he or she will react to you when they are overwhelmed or when they are angry, because all that they are hearing from you is that the solution to any problem is to shout, is to yell, and we are sorted. That's why I always tell parents who come to me for counseling that please understand that even before you start propagating to your kids what they have to do, what they don't have to do, you just have to first be the one who preaches and practice yourself first. So if you're telling them that shouting is bad, you have to stop shouting first. If you're telling them hitting is not good, it's criminal, if you raise your hands on them, you have to stop doing that first. So please understand they are just a mirror that is going to reflect your good or bad things that you're doing. So please have this in mind and make sure that you understand that if they are throwing tantrums or shouting at you for something, it has come to them from you only. Kids with consistent and planned routines have lower stress hormones and are more emotionally controlled than the kids who do not follow a plan or routine. If you're a calm parent, there is a concept called calm modeling which helps the kids stay calm and be more emotionally connected to you, increases emotional connection and reduces impulse. So it is very important that if they are angry or if they are throwing tantrums, first you need to calm yourself down, and then take a step forward in order to regulate them. Only then will they be able to understand and be in a state where they can listen and follow what you're saying. Moving on to the second segment, we need to understand what gentle discipline actually means. It is not permissiveness. It is just a simple, structured, respectful routine that we need to follow with our kids. Gentle discipline teaches behavior rather than forcing compliance. So, there are four core pillars that exist around this discipline. Let's just take them up one by one. Empathy first. The children feel heard, that you're hearing them, you're understanding them. Respect always, mutual dignity. Please understand, my dear parents, if you expect them to give you respect just because you are their parent and you can take it for granted and insult the kids in front of 20 people, keep shouting them in front of their friends all the time, they equally feel insulted. So you have to be very careful. If there is something that they have done wrong in front of their friends, something massively wrong, please make sure that you have your calm at that point of time. Pull them off from the scene very nicely, and then once you get back home, you tell them each and everything sternly, firmly, absolutely fine. But make sure you're not creating a scene and not going beyond that line, disrespecting them during that point of time. I'm sure it's a similar way that we don't like being insulted, right? It's just the same with kids. Understand they are humans at the end of the day, they have the same psyche as you and I have. So it is extremely important point here. The third pillar would be teach, do not punish. Please stop yelling. Yelling is a complete no no, and get into the habit of explaining. That is any day a better format to make your child understand. Well, the last pillar is consistent boundaries. We need to give them a limited outline, boundaries which are age appropriate. You cannot just say no plainly for anything and everything that they ask for. Please be mindful. Think about it for 2 minutes. Is it something that's really required, that's really necessary? Go ahead and then say a yes or a no basis on what you think it is. I have another video on yelling exclusively, how you can control yourself and how you can manage with kids, showing up right there. So you can click on it to find out what you can do so that you need not yell on your child. I would like to highlight a fact here to you that children that follow discipline and who are raised with gentle discipline, all of them have 50% much better social skills than other kids. Moving on to the third segment, let me quickly show you a few studies and facts and numbers that we can see, understand for our own selves, and which will be an eye-opener for all of you out there in understanding when we follow these gentle approaches, how it impacts the child. So I'm just going to show you the gentle parenting statistics. So this statistic says that 68% when you do gentle parenting, you are bound to have 68% stronger emotional bonds. 60% parents report reduced stress, 30% fewer behavioral issues, and 80% teachers see better classroom behavior when we follow this kind of a parent. Let me give you a brain fact. Routine and predictability thrive on high emotional safety signals. So when you have a plan, you have a routine, when the child knows that what he or she has to do right one after the other in the entire day, it reduces their stress levels because they know what's going to come up next. So it's always a good idea that we plan for them, we make them plan so that they have these stress levels at least lowered by a great extent. We always need to understand one thing, that connection will beat punishment. So we always need to have that connection built with our child before just blindly getting into punishment to them, because that is something that drifts away the child from you in seconds. So even after years of that love and connection that you have given, if you have to give that punishment, sometimes it hits the child's mind so hard that it becomes difficult to retrieve those feelings. Now, in my last but one, the fourth segment, I'm going to tell you steps how you can move from that chaos to calm. So quickly jumping into them. The first point is emotional coaching. Statements like, I see that you're frustrated. Let's sit and understand, talk about it, and see what we can figure out. The statements, the flow, the entire thing has to be a little more structured rather than when you see them low and down. What happened today in school? Every day, today again, you did something. You see the difference? So please understand the choice of words, your voice tone, the way you are reacting, the way you're understanding your child makes a world of difference. Second point is predictable routines. Meals, homework, waking up, getting ready, classes. If they have a set pattern, drastically, I always coach for this, and I will always tell parents that parents who don't plan for their kids, who do not give them planned routines, you will know for yourself how difficult the kids get, and then you get overwhelmed saying that they don't understand, they don't listen. Just give them a structured format, and please see the difference for yourself. You will know it. Third point is set clear boundaries. Say for example, toys are for playing with hands. If they are thrown or broken, you will have to take a break from the gaming. Instead of yelling, if the child has broken something, next time I'm not going to give you anything. Next time you will never get. You don't value money. And the story goes on. Looks something that happens in every house, and you've heard it many a times, right? So it's just the approach that you need to change when you're talking to your child. Fifth one is teach alternatives. You're mad. Don't throw this pillow. When they are in that state, either you work out the scene so that they don't have further anybody to show their tantrums to, and then when they are more in a calmer state, sit them down and have a word. The last point is choose battles. Not every meltdown needs a correction. Sometimes for you, it is just choosing to be there, your presence plus breathe is equal to calm. Moving on to the final fifth segment would be handling those tough moments. How we can do that? Just as I told you, if the child is throwing some toys here, there, everywhere, just taking away the toys from him or her silently and keeping it aside without yelling will make him or her realize that you did not humiliate them and instead chose the calm, and next time they'll be more careful. So, this whole process teaches accountability and not humiliation. Please understand, when you do such things, you're not giving in to them. You are only teaching them resilience and the importance of being calm and how it helps them. So, the final point that I want to drive you home is that the consistent calm builds adult emotional intelligence. So, when you have this consistently running in your system, in your house, your kids will grow up to be emotionally intelligent adults, which is a very key important factor in every individual's life. They will know how to manage big emotions, respect boundaries, be accountable. They will know how to communicate feelings and take responsibility. And most importantly, they will grow up and choose calm over everything else because that's what they would have grown all through their life seeing. So that will be the only best way that they will know to have in their lives as well. Comment calm if you tried one of these today and share this with another parent. Tag another parent who needs this piece of peace and subscribe to my channel for more such parenting science that actually works. Wishing you a great week ahead. Until then, it's me Neha signing off. Bye bye.